Hi everyone, it's Gary here from the Eye Opener Society. I'm bringing you this exclusive video version of the podcast, and this is just a small thing I'm going to try out here on YouTube where I give these personal, smaller podcasts on a video version. And I'm doing this to try and get some more people to follow us. The podcast is Eye Opener Society, and we're kind of a real life spiritual podcast, but we don't shove the spirituality, down your throat. I work with a co-host, Jennifer Miller, and we sit and we just share personal experiences, personal emotions, ways to get around things, ways to change your way of thinking, new perspectives. Uh, this here one is going to be about the nomadic lifestyle. This is something I've been drawn to. I've moved a lot in my life, all along up and down the East Coast. I find that the constant moving, the constant change of scenery places me in a better state of mind. I feel like being nomadic just opens up your entire world, your entire visions and perspectives of how the world is and how it's viewed. Moving about, learning and exploring new cultures, trying new things, interacting with new and different people, people that seem to be out of place, seem to be the people you really connect with a lot. I've been on a business trip for this past week, and while it wasn't long, I drove a little over 800 miles from Pennsylvania to St. Louis, Missouri. And while I didn't get a chance, because obviously I'm on a timeline with work, the drive, I still opened my eyes and taken in the scenery. And you notice when you go through each different state, things change, the roads change, the way the scenery looks. Most of Middle America is much of farmland. And even though it's all farmland, you could tell when you get to the different states, it changes slightly. And you pick up on this. I was able to see, the arches in St. Louis, Missouri, downtown uh, St. Louis, and get a feel and a vibe. I haven't been here. This is my first time here, and it's rather different. It was a great change. It's something that I needed because in the past, if you do listen to our podcast, Eye Opener Society, we lost a house recently due to situation that my stepdaughter was in. And if you listen to some of these back episodes, you'll get an idea of what was going on. So I had to move, and we went from a home that had land into a smaller apartment. But then again, I grew up in New York City, in the Bronx, and there were smaller apartments there too. So it kind of given me a throwback. And so with each change, with every time something else happens, whenever you move to a new place, inside you, you take on those energies and then you also expel your own energies into that place and you wind up making it your own. I am looking forward to hopefully sometime within the next 6 years moving out to West Virginia, out to the mountains, very rural, very, nomadic type of lifestyle, and moving with my wife, moving with her family. And we're going to be doing homesteading, and we're going to be raising our own food, growing our own food, and, making our own clothes. I'm really going to go I'm really going to go into it full force because that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I want. That's what I want to get out of life. I've been working for a long time. Again, I moved many places and I'm looking for another change. I feel that the space I'm in right now, I'm just not as happy as I used to be. And I think this little trip started opening my eyes up to that nomadic lifestyle again, to get back out there and start exploring and seeing new places, maybe changing the whole scenery I'm in. I did this episode because there's sometimes people that are afraid to move, afraid to change, afraid to change their scenery. And I think that fear is just holding you back. Do it. I've done it several times. I'm getting older, it's harder to move. So get rid of a lot of personal possessions. That's my first piece of advice to you. Holding on to all of that becomes a burden, it becomes a struggle. And when it is time to move, it's very difficult and it might hold you back. So get rid of those personal possessions, find where your heart is at, ask what your heart really wants, get out there and do what it is that you want to do. Again, I'm with the Eye Opener Society. We do have a podcast, and you could find it at eyeopenersociety.podbean.com. You could also search Eye Opener Society on any of your listening platforms. Of course, we are also right here on YouTube as well. We have a Facebook page under Eye Opener Society. So please join us. Listen to some